Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. Hi, I'm Speeder. Okay, so second episode filmed in a day. This has not happened in as long as I can remember. It's been a while since I filmed 2 in a day, let alone 1 in a day. But I'm just gonna get straight to the point. In this Keeper of the Movies video, I'm going to be reviewing Season 3, Episode 7 of The Dragon Prince, called Hearts of Cinder. Yeah. Lighting is a lot better than it was this morning. It's still, really bad lighting in here. But it's better than it was this morning, with all of the glare just going all over my face. Me putting down the blinds more did not help. At all. I think it literally made it worse. I am so sorry. I need a better camera, and I need better lighting. I would use my phone, but that thing can hold, nothing when it comes to space. So, no 30 to 40 minute videos for that thing. No, sir. But, I am trying to save up eventually for a new camera. A new mic is probably higher on my list of priorities. I think my highest on my list of priorities is probably new Joy-Cons, because mine have really bad Joy-Con drift. I finally did get that Switch charger, which is nice. I need new Joy-Cons, I need a mic that's better than what I have, I need cameras, I need lighting setups, the works, I need a lot of stuff. I need to buy new games. I have a very limited supply of games for Keeper of the Games. So, yeah. Eventually I will run out of games, and I'll be just like, hi, this is another Minecraft episode, because that game is endless. Well, it's not endless, but anyways. I'm going to stop delaying and get into it. So, this video will contain spoilers for the first 2 seasons of The Dragon Prince, as well as Dragon Prince Season 3, Episodes 1 through 7. I'm not sure if there will be spoilers for everything, but you can expect that there probably will be. So if you haven't seen up to that point and you don't want spoils? Wow, I can't speak. Spoilers! Then I would go watch The Dragon Prince, because I would highly recommend it. It's an amazing show. And then come back and watch all my reviews. I'm actually going to plug in this camcorder, because it's not super low on battery, but it's halfway there. So I'm just going to get up in your face for a second. Hopefully not bump. My apologies. This is you can skip ahead if you wish. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So, let's get into it. If you don't know how this works, at this point, basically I rewatched the episode, wrote everything that happens down and some of my thoughts on it, and I just kind of go over it, kind of podcast style. Except this isn't podcast style now, because you can actually see my face in videos. Because I had it just with the mic, no camcorder, for a while. But I'm back with the camcorder, so. Okay, yeah, let's get into it. So we start out in that, what I can only assume is the same, field that Cal and Rayla went to earlier in the season. I don't even remember how to say the name of the thing, but I think it's Adorabur, or Adorabird, or something. Or Adorby. It wasn't Dorby. Adorabur, or something. Something along those lines. I know Adore is the first part. I do love names that start with a door. No one watching this got that reference, but okay. And Claudia takes one. This moment seems like small, simple thing, little callback to that previous episode, but I feel like it's more than the time it was given. Especially with how this episode ends. I guess it just shows how Claudia has changed. Like, she's always been that way, but at the same time, she's just gotten, I don't know, you can just more clearly tell now how downhill she's gone. These are completely innocent creatures. And it just shows how just evil dark magic is, because either one, she's keeping this thing as a pet, which I doubt, or two, she's adding it to her pouch thing, especially with the fear that this thing had in its eyes. She's probably adding it to her pouch to use it in a future spell. That just shows some stuff about how evil dark magic is, because these are just these adorable, perfect little creatures, and she's just, yeah, she's just destroying them. So I just noticed that. So, let's see. Okay, so my own notes are confusing me a little bit. Yeah, so Viren is shown to be, as we know, talking to Erebos. Of course, Soren does not know that he's talking to Erebos, but Soren, at the start of this episode, kind of starts to get concerned, you can see. Now, we know that Soren started to question his father more pretty early on in the show. Pretty much in season 1, or I guess it was more season 2 that he started. In season 1, he was pretty loyal to his dad, for the most part. There was like this one moment when Viren implied that he wanted Soren to kill the princess, that he seemed to question his dad a little bit. And in season 2, we see this even more, as once again, he is thinking back to the fact that his dad asked him to kill the princess. He is certain that that's what he asked, and so he's trying to kill the princess, but he feels really bad about it. He's questioning everything with his dad and everything. And then by the end of the season, his back appears to have been broken or something along those lines, but he's paralyzed, and he has these moments of clarity. He seems to learn a lot from it. I would compare it to another show, but I said I would keep this spoiler free, so I will not. But it does remind me of a similar kind of situation that happened with another character on another show. It was actually kind of similar to Soren, I think. Not exactly, but you know, those two are actually pretty similar. Maybe I should do like an analysis of how similar Soren and this other character are after I'm done doing Avatar: The Last Airbender, because that's the character, that's the show that the character's from. But anyways, so Soren breaks his back, right? Or he gets paralyzed. Something that made him paralyzed, I can only assume, was breaking his back. And he has these moments of clarity, and afterwards he's just super guilty about the whole killing the princess situation. So he confronts his dad about it in season 3. But then Viren lies and says that he was not implying that he wanted Soren to kill the princess, even though we all know that he was implying that Soren should kill the princess. And so Soren is not only questioning his dad now, but he's also questioning himself again. So he's very confused at this point. And then Ezrin is in jail. Viren has just become king. Soren is really starting to question stuff, and then he helps Ezrin free. This is a huge moment of character development for Soren, I think, and you can see where his true loyalties lie. He is a crown guard. He wants to help, and I think that he is a good person. At this point, he's becoming a better person than he once was. Hello, car. Bye, car. I really need to close the window during these videos. I don't know why I keep it open. But anyways. I'm just like, this thing right here went like underneath like the fingernail right here. That kind of hurt. Okay. Hope that doesn't start bleeding. Anyways. So Soren, I feel like he had this huge amount of character development, and then he sticks with his dad. He's going to Zadia. He's still questioning things. He seems to get more and more concerned, especially in this episode. So in this moment, he sees Viren talking to his little lug pal, and he seems very concerned. And so he goes up to his dad and he asks what the plan is. And Viren kind of lashes out, mostly probably because he doesn't know the plan, also because he's probably kind of a little tired of Soren. But Soren takes it badly, and as he should probably in the situation. And he's questioning things more, and you can just see it in his face, like these moments of like eyes widening, you know, sidelong looks. He just seems to be questioning everything that he was ever taught, which is probably the right thing to be doing in this situation. I wrote, he seems upset, slowly starting to see his dad's true colors. And then Viren tells Soren to look to Prince Kasif as an example, which is probably like the worst thing he could have said in that moment, because it makes Soren really insecure, and he's like comparing himself now to Kasif. And it almost seems like Viren prefers it as if he wishes Kasif were his son, not Soren, which is probably true. I'll be honest, at this point, he probably would have preferred Kasif to be his son than Soren. Which is really sad, honestly. But anyways. Yeah. So, then we have this, like, I found this kind of cool, where we have, so you know, like, the regular scene change for the Dragon Prince, where, like, either it just like flips to a different scene, or sometimes they'll have like this transition where it goes like against a wall or through a rock or something, and it just transitions to it pretty smoothly to a different scene. I found it interesting that they have one of these kind of scene transitions in this moment where we have Soren's perspective and he's like jealous of Kasif and everything, and then we like pan over this rock and we have like this downward view of Viren on his horse, and you can tell that we're now in Viren's perspective seeing Erebos. I just found that interesting. So Viren and Erebos are talking. Viren asks what the plan is, and Erebos asks if Viren wishes to rule Zadia. Now Viren is still trying to justify his actions, so he says, no, I simply want peace for humankind, and we can't do that with, well, he says he wants peace for humankind. He's like, so, and we can't have that with a knife at our throat. And then Erebos says, so you wish to conquer Zadia. And Viren says, no, I just want peace for humankind. And Erebos reiterates, so you wish to conquer Zadia. And it kind of zooms in on his face, like he's manipulating Viren almost. We have like it's like a theme music. It might be like Erebos' theme, I don't know. I'm not like super in tune with the music of the Dragon Prince. Like, maybe I'll look that up and see if that's Erebos' theme or not. But it seems to play every time that Erebos is like showing up, or if he's manipulating someone, or if something interesting with Erebos is happening. Like when we first have an interaction between Viren and Erebos, that music is playing, and it seems to play every time there's like a manipulation or a strong interaction between Viren and Erebos, and I find that interesting. I seem to notice a lot more stuff now after I've been analyzing all of these episodes. Things seem to notice a lot more. I find that interesting. Let's see. And then this interesting moment happens where Erebos is like, so we want to... He talks about how they're going to attack the Stormspire and stuff. But he seems very intent on Viren capturing Zim. Not killing him, but capturing Zim specifically. Now, this may just be to play on Viren's desire for power. That's possible, but I had a thought, and I may be wrong here, and I probably am. And I'll go into this into more depth in later episodes when we see maybe a little bit more stuff that I can talk about with this. But I wonder if Zim might play... Maybe this is just me, like, after watching Owl House, but it makes me wonder if maybe Zim has some kind of key role of helping Erebos or freeing Erebos, perhaps. I don't know for sure, and I haven't heard a theory about it before. Maybe there is one. But I just find it interesting that Viren is the one that Erebos chooses to manipulate. Obviously, Viren sought Erebos out, I mean, unknowingly, but he was studying the mirror, trying to figure out that, so maybe he was his only option. But I feel like Erebos is smart enough about who he manipulates, what he does. He's very deliberate with everything that he does. And I wonder if capturing Zim might turn out to be important for Erebos himself. I don't know. But that was just something I noticed. Okay. So, I said Erebos seems intent on capturing Zim. That concerns me. Then he says that they need to steal something from these Sunfire Elves, and that the only life they're going to need to risk is Viren's. So then we go to the gang, as the episode description for this episode says Team Zim, which feels like, since this is made by the same creators of Avatar, this just feels like an Avatar reference at this point. Calling it Team Zim. Team Avatar, eh? Team Zim, Team Avatar? Anyways, so I just call them the gang. So the gang starts up the Stormspire, and Rayla reveals that the Dragon Queen's lair is at the very top. Then we cut to Luxalia, or however you say it. And the sister of the queen, who I forgot to... I looked up the name of, like, the Sunfire Elf warrior that was interrogating Amaya and everything, and was at the breach, and she's the queen's sister, right? But I looked up the name, and I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce that. Like, is it Johnny? Is it Janie? Is it Ani? Is it Jana? I don't know how to pronounce that. It's spelled Janai, and I don't know. I'm not even gonna try, and I'm just going to refer to her as the Queen Sister until I double check on that pronunciation. Pronunciation, yeah. Anyways, so in Luxalia, the sister of the queen tells the queen that the king of Talos has come to see them. And at first she's reluctant to allow Viren to enter, but then the sister says that he knows something of a previous queen. I believe the name was Etiti or something along those lines. Something along those lines. I think it was like Etiti. Anyways, And she says that he may know something of their grandmother, who was a previous queen. Queen Ititi. That's totally not how you pronounce it. I don't remember now. And I feel bad. Why? Okay. My shoulder has been aching the past like 3 hours. Or it's not my shoulder blade. The area around my shoulder blade has just been bothering me. I don't know what it is. So then we go back to the gang. And we have my favorite interaction in this entire episode. I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with Raylan. It's my favorite thing. So they're heading up the Dragon Spire, and Callum and Rayla have this, like, brief, like, very flirty encounter. Callum is, like, casually like, so, when we get to the top, are we, gonna tell the Dragon Queen that, you and me, are together, or something along those lines? I was like, oh no. And they're both just, like, smirking. And they're like, Rayla's like, I don't think it'll come up. I was like, oh, so it's like a forbidden love sort of situation. I was like, Cal. Oh dear. But this is my favorite interaction in the history of this episode. I just love this. Raylan is my world and is one of my all-time favorite ships. It is not my favorite ship of all time. That belongs to Percabeth from Percy Jackson. But these guys are up there. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Honestly, I kind of feel like Percabeth in a different font. Except, like, Callum is not like Percy. He's mage and artsy. But it's kind of there. Why the lighting? Did you get so bad? What happened? You were so good 2 minutes. No, you weren't so good. But you were decent like 5 minutes ago. What happened? Did the sun shift? Of course the sun. Time is passing. Of course the sun. Of course the earth shifted around the sun. But come on. Oh my gosh. Love that. Okay. So, Callum asks if they should tell the Dragon Queen they're a thing. She says she doesn't think it will come up. Secret forbidden romance. The flirting, oh my gosh, exclamation point. Then they come across a sign over the path that says, prepare to draw your last breath. And they seem a bit concerned. My face is just like, it's bright. If I do this, it all of a sudden decides to calm down because my hands are now the bright part, but I do this and it's like, oh. Oh gosh. Do I just need to keep my hands up for the rest of this video? I'm not doing that. Well, I'm going to be glowing for the rest of this video. Maybe if I lean back. Alright, that helps a little. Okay. So, why is my throat all of a sudden just on fire? Everything is going wrong. I mean, at least I haven't said my name yet, like in the last episode. Ah, this is going so wonderfully. Okay. So, Viren is brought before the Queen. He asks for safe passage for him and his armies. The Queen disagrees and says that there's only one way to see if he can be trusted. And Viren is tested before the light. And he is, unlike Amaya, revealed to be evil and ugly. So yeah, clearly Viren has been touched by dark magic. Who would have believed that? So the sister of the queen, this time I wrote her name, Jean, is it like Jeanne? Johnny? No, definitely not. Janie? I don't know. Tells Amaya that Viren has come, referring to him as the king, and Maya realizes when she says that he's very arrogant, that she describes him, she reveals that he is not in fact a king, and that he is extremely dangerous and needs to be stopped. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. And we cut back to the gang, and they're definitely getting very tired and out of breath, but decide to keep going. There's those gosh darn freaking ATVs again. I swear they are running all day. Every day. Okay. Yep, so Maya insists they go after them. The gang is getting tired and out of breath. So the Sunfire Elves bring Viren to the Sun Forge to be purified, which happens to be the source of their power. Not such a great idea, people. As Amaya and the Sister of the Queen reach this ritual, Amaya says that he needs to be stopped. The ritual needs to be stopped, and he's very dangerous. As the ritual goes on, a larger version of the purple creature, or the little bug pal, comes out of Viren's mouth, and this is like such a gross animation. It's not as gross as like the bug going in his ear, but it's pretty bad. You can like see like the ripples in his throat, and it's a terrifying image. It's like, as a certain podcaster would say, nightmare fuel. Then bites a guard and taints the rod that he's holding, which I can only assume is like something that, is it like the source of their power? I don't think so, but it seems to be like the channeling piece for the source of their power. And the elves seem very terrified. Maybe they know Erebos. Who knows? Okay. Erebos is revealed as he takes kind of like a physical-ish form on, like, kind of possessing the body of this guard, I guess. And then he has this gross moment where he refers to Viren as his vessel, which just shows how little he cares about Viren to call him his vessel. Viren is just a means to an end. He's a pawn. He is a vessel. Kind of like Lord Voldemort to, I said no spoilers, so I'm not going to say that. But, yeah, anyways. Okay. And then Erebos calls all of the Sunfire Elves arrogant. He then goes up to the Queen, and whispers their grandmother's true fate, and then kills the Queen. And there's another scream in this moment. I think this one was probably the Queen screaming as she like falls, but there's just another like echoing scream. I keep noticing this when there are like deaths brought about by dark magic. both times that we have seen a death brought about by dark magic, that same similar scream, like an echoing scream, happens. I find that very interesting. I don't know if that's important or not, or if I'm just noticing a weird thing, but it's just something I keep noticing, is that there's like this weird scream every single time someone kills someone with dark magic. I find it very interesting. Sister is distraught, but Amaya stops her from going to attack Viren, which is a good thing. Then Erebos steps out of the guard's body, and the guard appears to be dead. Erebos then vanishes, because he is now done possessing this guard. And we are not in Viren's perspective right now. So we go back to the gang, and the air is apparently too thin, and they all pass out, except for probably Bait and definitely Zem. So then, Zem wakes up Ezrin, and shows that the dragon that they saved at the end of Season 2 shows up, and he draws a symbol, or she. The dragon, draws a symbol in the ground, and Ezrin seems to understand. So then we go back to the armies that have just crossed over into Zadia, and Viren shows up. And again, we have one of these moments where Soren just seems very concerned when he sees what his dad has become. He's just this creature of dark magic, not his father. He seems very concerned. So, Viren gives a speech where he says that they need to be transformed in order to take on the enemy, and that fire will no longer hinder them, but instead will be their fuel. And I feel like this transformation thing is similar to what the sister of the queen, if I'll ever remember how to say her name, her transformation is just... It looks very similar, and judging by the fact that she probably got it from the same source, though a less tainted one, suggests that it's a similar thing. Let's see. So, he says the human armies must evolve, that fire will make them stronger. And then he says that they should not be afraid, and that they will change their minds when they see the first to change, which will be his own son, Soren. He refers to Soren as his own beloved son, but he's not referred to Soren as his own beloved son this entire episode. Which suggests maybe he only thinks of him as his beloved son when he needs something from him, which is unfortunate and not healthy. Anyways, Soren doesn't want to receive this gift. But Kasif steps forward and volunteers himself, saying that he would like to be the first to change. And Soren backs away, and then we have Soren has this big moment of realization. We've been building up to this for a while. You can see his eyes widen as he sees what Viren is turning Kasif into. And all of this stuff just builds up, and he runs away. And Kasif is transformed. So we go back to the gang, and Ezrin wakes up Callum and says the symbol that was drawn, that he draws on a piece of paper for Callum, is a rune. And he says that the trigger words are Ventus Spiralis. And then Callum does the magic, and they are all given breath. And then we have another fantastic interaction. Maybe this one's my favorite in the episode, I'm not sure. Callum wakes up Rayla, they kiss, and Ezrin is like super confused. And Callum says, and I quote, "Well, you were gone for a while, and now this is a thing. Oh, man. And you can just see Ezran's eyes widen. But before Ezran's eyes widen, Bates' eyes widen. Which, yeah. Bate realizes first. There, and he's like, what? It was a great interaction. But anyways. So we go back to Soren. And Claudia confronts him, asks where he's going. Soren says that Viren is changing, and that he changed Kasif as well, and that he's scared of what is happening, and he just can't be around Viren anymore. He also says that Claudia is changing, and that she's changed, for sure, like I mentioned earlier. And then he asks her to come with her, but Claudia isn't sure what to do. As we learned in Season 2, she had to choose between her mother and her father when she was a kid, which must have been extremely difficult. And now Soren is asking her to choose between him and her father. But she doesn't want to do either, and so Soren chooses for her and walks away. And she kind of has a little bit of a breakdown, but she turns to her father. So then, Viren turns the whole army into these monsters, and Claudia sees them and is shocked and perhaps a little horrified, but she goes along with it and is loyal as ever. So then we go back to the gang, and they have made it to the top of the storm spire, and the guard at the top says it is too late. And that is the end. So it seems that Soren has had kind of a 180 moment. Claudia was now forced to choose her father once again, and the gang has made it to the top of the storm spire with a fiery, super strong army coming after them. So yeah, this is a great episode. It really shows Soren's character development, and it really builds up to the fact that Soren is probably going to change sides. We also see set up for probably what's going to be a huge battle, and the gang has finally made it to the storm spire. So a lot happens in this episode. We've had a lot of Viren-centered episodes. And these last couple episodes have been very Viren-centered. These last two. Before that, we got like almost nothing from. Before that, it was mostly like Callum and Rayla-centered. We had two very Rayla-centered episodes. These last two episodes have been very Viren-centered. Or I guess Erebos-centered? I don't know. The gang has kind of been on the sidelines. We've seen stuff from them, but it hasn't been a lot. But yeah, this episode was interesting. I noticed a lot with it. I actually wrote more on this episode than I did on the last one, which is interesting since I love backstory so much. But yeah. So that is the end of this review. Now I'm going to go over the next 4 weeks of videos for each of my channels, as well as going over a couple of reminders and announcements. So, for this channel, Keeper of the Movies, the next 4 videos should be the Dragon Prince Season 3 Episode 8 review, the Dragon Prince Season 3 Episode 9 review, Dragon Prince character tier list, and then I think it is a Callum Magic Evolution video. I believe that is the next one. I don't believe there will be any videos for Keeper of the Books. That may change, other than, of course, a weekly Book of the Week video every Monday that I'm now doing. They're like 2-minute videos, just like a quick book or series recommendation. Some of the books will be like consecutive, but yeah, so for Keeper of the Games, we'll just have a bunch of Skyrim episodes for the next 4 weeks, the next 8 Skyrim episodes, which I believe should last through the beginning of October. I probably need to make more. to last to the end of the year, but for now, that is what I have. So, anyways, as for some reminders, first of all, I have a TikTok now, which I plan on making Dragon Prince Season 4 reactions on. Interesting. So initial reactions, not just reviews after I've rewatched it, which I will also be doing for Season 4, but I would like to make some initial reactions. So, if you want to watch that, my TikTok is Keeper of the Books 638. You can just look that up. I may link it, but I'm not sure. Anyways, and also after this show is done, I'm going to be focusing a lot on the MCU, and after I focused on the MCU for a while, or I might actually do it at the same time, I'll be doing my next shows, which are Avatar: The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, The Adventures of Merlin, and